Transition Radio TV, brought to you by thebreastformstore.com. They have everything you could possibly need for your cross-dressing and transgender needs. Visit their website at www.thebreastformstore.com and tell them Transition Radio sent you.
The following ingredients include a look behind the scenes. Cook uncovered until hot. Add grooves to taste.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. A 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. I was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think he may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transition Radio, live from Milton Manors, Florida. With your host, Mark Angelo Cummings.
And your hostess, Jessica Latham.
A show for trans folks, by trans folks, here to let your voice be heard.
Love us. Okay, welcome to Transition Radio TV, live from Wilton Manors, Florida.
Yes.
We're so very glad you're joining us tonight, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those that don't get to watch the entire show because you have something to do, don't worry, you'll get to see it on demand. Well, tonight, we have Dylan James, Dymond. He's a 33-year-old who identifies as a gay male transsexual. He quotes, "I am from a small rural town in northeastern Pennsylvania, but I now live in a more populated area in northern Virginia.
I am a professional artist with my pieces for sale in several places in town where I live, and prints are available for purchase online at www.zazzle.com/copperfoxartwork. Most of my artwork is able to be viewed via my Facebook fan page, www.facebook.com/copperfoxartwork.
And you'll be able to see that all later on down below if you wanted to write that down. Besides being a busy artist of the natural world, I work with a beautiful managing the front desk of a second look studio. He does this part-time. His full-time job, however, is at a local flower shop, where he does many things all day. On Fridays and Saturday nights, he plays drums and guitars and sings.
He says, I dedicate time every day to spend with my 2-year-old Maine Coon cat, Zebo. Exercise is important to work in my busy schedule, and I lift weights and do sit-ups when I can. I have had many struggles in life, dealing with mental illness and gender issues.
In 1999, I was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and there was a 10-year period of medication, inpatient hospital stays, and therapy. As of 2010, I'm medication-free, per my personal decision.
I have been on testosterone for 2.5 years. I am pre-surgery, but I intend on having chest surgery when financially able. I was in a relationship with a woman for 6 years, but never identifying as a lesbian.
Since starting T, my partner and I have separated, and now I identify as a gay FTM who likes men.
Hey everyone, it's Dylan here. I'm in the music studio right now, but many of you probably know me as the man behind Copper Fox Art. But really, what I want to share with you are some personal aspects about my life, such as my current exploration in music, of course, my career as an artist with Copper Fox art, and also some things about gender transition and overcoming the struggles of mental illness. I hope that these videos will be both informative and you'll find them inspiring. So, hope to see you soon. And for now, this is Dylan signing off.
And now welcome to our show, the amazingly talented Dylan James Dymond.
Hey,
Thank
Dylan.
you. Hello.
How's it going, buddy?
Good. Thank you
So
for having me on the show.
Thank you for being part of our show.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
It's amazing because I've been trying to get you on the show and your busy schedule hasn't allowed you. So I was going through Facebook and that's where I saw some of your artwork. I guess we have mutual friends and I saw some of your work and I was really intrigued. I was like, wow, this guy's really, really good. And I said, well, we got to get him on the show. So here you are. And again, thank you for being here with us.
Yes, definitely. So, Dylan, you have such an amazing way of drawing and putting images on paper. How long have you been drawing, and when did you discover you had this gift of being such an amazing artist?
I've been drawing since I was a young child. I would say I really started off when I was about 10, when I received a birthday gift from my aunt, which was a package of art supplies with some nice paper and pencils and so forth. And I really focused on it in my art classes in school, and I had some teachers kind of pay more attention to me because they saw my talent earlier on. I would do art to relax, and sort of that was my pastime as a child. I didn't really do a whole lot of sports activities like my other friends did in school. But through the years, I've continued to do a lot of drawing, mostly with pencil and some painting, watercolor, and acrylic. But one time, I think it was in 2004 in my apartment, I decided to kind of redo a piece of artwork that I did in high school about 6-7 years prior. And I finished the piece, and I set it across the room, and I was just taken aback. And I was just amazed with my own ability. And then I was just like, wow, I can't believe that I just did that. And I thought, I am a great person, and I really need to just keep with it. And I knew that I was going to go somewhere someday, and I am on my way to having my own gallery showing and being a big-time artist in the art scene.
Wow, that's amazing and
Yes.
very, very fulfilling, I'm sure. And doing
Yes.
something that you love and being able to make a living off of it has got to be the most amazing thing.
Yes, it is.
And that's amazing. Now, not only you are an artist and creating beautiful images, but you also are a performing artist as well. Tell us a little bit about your music and where does the inspiration come from?
Well, I've always enjoyed listening to music, and years ago I tried to sing. Of course, that was pre-transition, so my voice sing along to men like country music. It really didn't sound that great, and my partner said, "Your voice is like, you sound like a cat stuck in a dryer," and which wasn't good. But about a year and a half ago, I met a friend through another friend, and he has a music studio in his basement, and he's become my mentor, and he's teaching me a lot about playing guitar, and more recently, drumming. And I'm really taking hold of the drums more than the guitar. But we do singing with the microphone, and he showed me a lot about the computer system with Ableton Live, the computer system that we use. So we're still working on that. I haven't actually performed live on stage. I'm not sure if it'll get to that point or not, because I am very shy and socially I'm more introverted. But I hope to have an album out there at least to my parents, send them this awesome gift of, hey, this is your son on a music CD with my picture and all of the music that I've done. And I'm feeling proud about how far I've come with my friend Chris teaching me and what I can do at this point. And I just continue. I have very limited time, but I try to every weekend, Friday nights and Saturday nights, work with Chris, and we do sing with microphones in harmonies, and I'll play drums and he'll play bass guitar and do some singing and so forth.
That's awesome. You said that your ex said you sounded like a screeching cat or something. Now that your voice has changed with testosterone, are you able to hit those country notes the way you want to? Or
I'm able to sound, yes, much more masculine like I wanted to sound, but the interesting part is that I can hit both low notes and high notes. So my range is very broad, and that makes me special with, I believe, females, they use more of their nasal area when they sing, whereas men are more throaty and in the lungs. And I've learned how to use both and pull from that feminine side of me the high sounds and the low sounds of testosterone.
there you go. That's awesome, and it's because it's hard. I know that I lost a lot of my high range when I started hormones. It's like all of a sudden I used to be soprano, and I try singing soprano. Now it's like, please, you don't want to be in the same room.
There's a cat in the dryer.
Yeah,
right,
cat
guys?
in the dryer again. So
Some notes I cannot reach at all. It's just my voice cuts out and it just goes silent. It just cracks and then it's done with.
yeah, I was reading something that Lucas Silveria from the Clicks wrote on one of his notes in his Facebook page, advising trans men who want to be able to sing or giving pointers that the key is to take small amount of testosterone in the beginning instead of the higher doses, so that when your vocal cords thicken, they don't do it so quickly, and that way you don't end up losing your range as much. So I guess when we do higher doses, it just kind of thickens so quickly that we lose that ability. So that was an interesting
Makes sense.
thing. Yeah, interesting thing I read.
Has it been difficult to be yourself in a small town, and how have you been received?
I will say I came from a town, the population was a little over 2,000, and I did have a hard time trying to convince, I was going to therapy at the time, I was trying to ask the therapist, hey, can you order me to start hormone therapy? And I'm passionate about transitioning into the other gender, and it just was not received whatsoever. One thing is that they didn't have the education or the awareness, so they were just going on personal opinion and really didn't want me to go ahead and transition. But now, about 3 years ago, I moved to a town that's about 16,000 people, and I have much better luck here trying to find an endocrinologist, and with a larger town, there's more diversity, but I feel you can be yourself anywhere in a more populated area or a smaller rural area. It's not really up to other people telling you how you should feel, because we each are empowered with our own decisions, our own ways of how we really want to present ourselves, and we shouldn't have anyone else infringe upon our own personal powers. And
Yeah, I hear exactly what you're saying. And how were you able to convince the therapist or your actual doctor, because I'm sure it was probably a general practitioner, to prescribe the hormones for you?
right. In Pennsylvania, they were not able to prescribe hormones to me, but when I moved to Virginia, I was seeing a psychiatrist, and within 3 visits of seeing her, I told her, look, this is how I really feel. And she has dealt with some people in the past. So she said, with gender issues, so she did refer me out to the local endocrinologist who doesn't specialize with gender issues with hormone therapy. So he transferred me to a different endocrinologist, and I didn't really have that much of an issue with starting hormones.
Okay. So I particularly don't like labels. You know, we live in a world that tends to want to give people names for their behavior, especially if we don't fit in a neat little box. We're going to share a video clip of you talking, being pretty candid about yourself, and talk a little bit about your schizophrenia, which I want to go back into after the video. And also wanted to ask you, we could do this before the video or after, when you went to the endocrinologist, did that even come up as an issue, that because you had been diagnosed with schizophrenia, were they concerned with the hormones, or did they see it maybe that was something that would actually help you?
All right. Well, being that my psychiatrist approved me to start hormone therapy, the endocrinologist wasn't really concerned about the interaction between any medications, antipsychotics, or anything else that I was on. And they didn't see it as, well, this is some kind of personality that Dylan has psychotically is in at the moment, and it's Dylan in a lucid state of mind making this decision to start hormones, and with the supporting psychiatrist approval, it didn't pose much of an issue.
And the reason this is interesting, because we've had individuals who actually contact us, parents of young transgender individuals who have been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and they were concerned. We had a mother who talked to us about that, and they're asking our advice, you know, and I've always said, well, the best advice is to go to your doctor, but sometimes I feel that hormones, when you're putting the right hormones in your body, whatever medical condition you might have, whether mental or physical, kind of helps out. It gets better, because number one, you're happier, and number two, I believe a lot of us are slightly intersex, and when we put the right hormone in our bodies, things start to change. We get healthier. And
Yes,
then,
I
yeah.
did have an improvement in mood, and schizophrenia being an umbrella term for mood and psychological symptoms such as psychosis, delusions, hallucinations. I did see improvement in all of those areas, mainly my mood. However, when I did start the testosterone, as with any kind of puberty or transition type with hormone imbalances, I did feel the highs and lows, but I knew that it was associated with the testosterone. But that eventually got much better, and I would say this is the happiest I've been in, I would say, 15 years. And with the other symptoms that I experienced, such as the delusions and the voices that I heard all the time on a daily basis, I've actually saw improvement with the testosterone. It, I feel, created a balance with brain chemistry somehow. I can't explain it, and I no longer take medication for the schizophrenia or depression or anything else along those lines.
And it's funny you bring that up, because I believe, again, I don't like labels. I believe that a lot of these so-called labels, mental conditions that the doctors want to give us, are based on some form of chemical imbalance that we might have. So having the wrong hormone in our bodies and not having the correct one could create a lot of these issues, from bipolar, schizophrenia, panic attacks, you name it. So definitely something very important for people to hear. And those that are worried that they do have some sort of mental condition, is it going to get worse? You know, they shouldn't worry. I think it's actually going to make the condition better. We want to go ahead and share the video, and we'll continue to discuss this afterwards.
Today I want to talk about some history about myself, background stuff, where I came from. To start with, I'm from a very small country setting town in northeast Pennsylvania. If you know Williamsport, or the World Series for Little League is played, that's about where I'm from, in that area, about half hour east of Williamsport. So that's one thing about me. I graduated from high school there, and after high school, I have a small career with the military in the U.S. Air Force. It was short-lived because I was then diagnosed with schizophrenia, and they really don't want a lot of people with mental illness carrying a lot of loaded weapons. So I was discharged, and brings up another point, mental illness, that I did say that I wanted to talk about. And I have been hospitalized 6 times, each time about a month, inpatient. Also, I did a lot of therapy on a weekly basis, once to 2 times a week. And I had intense therapy, which is about 7 hours a day, 3 days a week. And that went on for about 7 months in a span. I did that 2.5 times, and I had a lot of struggles. I've been on a lot of different medications with schizophrenia, and it's schizophrenia is a umbrella term for a lot of things. For me personally, symptom-wise, I had a lot of depression, suicidal ideation, moodiness with feeling really manic, which is more along the lines of a bipolar disorder. But then again, I've had other diagnoses, such as psychosis and multiple personality disorder, as well as the gender identity disorder, borderline personality disorder, different things like that. To me, I don't label myself. I don't think it really means anything. It's just to identify an issue that can be addressed then, to get yourself some help. And with all the therapy that I've had and all the medication, some things worked, some things did not work. But I stayed working for the most part. I remember sometimes I didn't work and it was really hard, but I did my best, and I had some support from people, and I really appreciate everyone that's helped me throughout the years in times such as those. I did a lot of art when I was a child, and that helped me through different issues when I was a kid, and I continue to do art, and I feel that artwork as an expression of what I'm feeling inside is sort of a way of venting, and I have always felt that was helpful to me. I encourage others to do art as well, just even starting at a young age. It helps. It may not help you, but it helped me.
Very interesting point there regarding utilizing your creativity to actually align yourself. I believe we're made up of energy. And if you have all this energy, and I'm not talking about energy running a marathon, but just this frequency that we have inside, if we don't put it to good use, we become self-destructive. The body almost starts to break down. So hence all the mental labels that we're given. So when we take this energy and we create things, whether it be music, art, whatever it is, that's a creative outlet for each individual, I think it helps us align ourselves and be healthier mentally and physically. What do you think about that, Dylan?
I agree totally on those levels. We do get destructive when there's interactions inside that are just rolling around and chaotic. And I think when we externalize these things, we may be able to make them more in order in such a way that can help us realign our mental activity, our overall balance of our chakras, or just our basic energy.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's been some really amazing creative individuals in the world who were classified with mental illnesses, and they did wonderful things for the world. And again, society loves to label everything and deem things good or bad. And I think self-expression is something that's very important. And as a society, we no longer have a rite of passage. We no longer have purpose. So I think that lack of purpose leads us to self-destruct and leads us into the path of illness or disease, which means unbalance. So definitely being creative, definitely leading with your heart space is what actually is going to make us a healthier species, I believe.
We can hope.
We can hope.
Well, you already kind of answered the question in a sense, but I'm going to go ahead and give you the question and we'll go over it a little more. Since you transitioned, have things gone better for you as far as dealing with your mental issues? Excuse me. And how has testosterone agreed with you, or has it?
Okay. Yes, I believe that my mental condition has improved with symptoms with mental illness, and I do feel when I was done with leveling out with the mood swings of the initial starting of the testosterone, I do feel much more calmer than I used to. There are some things that I've noticed being on testosterone than when I wasn't. I do feel that I'm more, not completely apathetic, but I have less emotion now than I did before. But that could be a good thing because I don't freak out when I'm not dramatizing every little thing. And so I will say, for the most part, everything is going really smoothly with being on hormones. There are some bad things that happen, but it's all okay.
Yeah, I totally agree. I had the same issue. I had a lot of anxiety, and I had major panic attacks. I mean, severe. And once I started transition, and I actually started HRT, I think once the hormones aligned in my body, a lot of the things got better. The one thing that hasn't gotten better is my ADHD, but it does get a little better as time progresses. I'm able to sit a little longer and do more, or you'll start seeing me jump around and stuff like that. But that's one of the things that it didn't help, but it did help a lot of the other factors that were ailing me.
And again, that's another label. Every child nowadays gets labeled with ADHD. Well, who wants to sit all day in a classroom environment listening to a teacher literally just preaching to you and just lecturing you away? We're not meant to do that. We're meant to be jumping from tree to tree, hunting our food, doing things in nature. Yet we have become a very, what's the word, synthetic.
How come you're comparing us to monkeys?
Well, because, I mean, we have a synthetic life, and a synthetic life is not natural to our psyche. Therefore, we have these ADHD, anxiety. We sit behind a cubicle all day, pushing buttons like monkeys, answering phones. That's not our normal state of being.
No.
And because we don't have a normal state of being, you're going to have abnormal situation happening in our lives.
Right.
Disease of all kind, mental and biological. Anyway, off my high horse there. You identify as a gay FTM, and I know most people have a hard time understanding sexuality versus gender identity. Can you express your views on this?
Yes. Gender identity, I feel that I'm male, and sexual orientation is different than identity. Who we identify as, what we feel about ourselves. Orientation would be who we're attracted to or who we are drawn to be with. Therefore, I would say I knew I was always male since I was about 5 years old, and I've always known that I was attracted to men, which was kind of confusing to me because I lived as a child and teenager and so forth as female, and then I liked men, and that seemed like I was a straight heterosexual individual. But then later, when I found out and I was educated about gender identity, and then I felt like, well, I'm a male who likes men, and for a while I was still confused about that. So I thought, well, if I'm a female, I should be attracted to men, but I was I'm still
It's even
confused.
confusing for you. So imagine how other people feel. I'm going to help you out here. I mean, when I was in my female form, as I believe it's this form and energy and how we express ourselves during that time, I was very afraid of the male species. The genitalia was like, you ain't coming near me with that. And my vagina was out of service for even when I was with females. When I transitioned and I became this trans man that I am, because I don't even identify as a man, I identify as a trans man, trans person, I am now more comfortable in my skin. And because I am more comfortable in my skin, I don't feel as invaded with the male species. Before it was like an invasion. They're just like going to grope me and do all these horrible things to me. Once I transitioned, I was like, these guys are kind of cute. That little pee-pee penis, I know I can say penis on it, looks kind of appealing. And I became okay with it and became very attracted to men or trans women.
Yeah.
Because you got both, best
And
of
you got
both
the best of
worlds.
both worlds.
Exactly. So was that kind of your situation, or?
Yeah, more or less, yes.
Here,
Well-
excuse me while I grope him.
What was that moment of aha? Like you started looking at, because I know with me, I was like watching gay porn or looking at magazines, fitness magazines, and I was started looking at the male physique. And I was like, haba haba, that kind of thing. What was your aha moment?
I'm not really exactly sure. With my girlfriend, my partner at the time, which I never labeled myself as lesbian, neither of us really did. We didn't have any label whatsoever. We were just two women in a relationship together. But the more I was on testosterone, the more, like you were saying, in a similar experience as I am, that I feel more comfortable within my own skin. And I would just, it came to a point where I'm more attracted to men, and I always have been, so I
I hear you.
So your sexuality didn't change much?
No.
Not really, no.
You allowed yourself before you kind of didn't feel comfortable. Now you do because you're comfortable in your own skin.
Right, I'm more confident with myself in who I am and how I present myself, how I truly am inside, yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Is there any typical kind of guy that you like more than another? Are you into bears or what is it? Tweets? Twinks? Any particular or just?
In other words, to sum it up, do you like the hairy guys or the bald guys?
I like the athletic guys with a bit of chest hair.
There you go.
Okay, so it's like an in-between.
Yeah. That's good.
So we believe that we are made up of energy. Those of us... The prompter broke.
No, the prompter went too fast.
Those of us who have lots of creative energy and do not use them will tend to create a situation in our lives that lead to mental illness. Do you feel that by engaging in creativity, you feel better mentally?
Yes, I believe so. It's very helpful to me to use art in my creativity to sort of vent out my struggles that I deal with inside, and I put them in a constructive way externally. And I've always been doing that, and it's something I've done as a child, and it's just become a habit, and I find it very therapeutic. And I do recommend that to others. And like my one video that you played, that it does help me, but it may not help you. Same way with the medication. I wanted to make a statement that I'm not trying to endorse someone completely going off all of their medication if it is helpful for them, because everyone is different, and if it is necessary and something is helping you, stay with it. And I don't want to be the person that says, oh, well, Dylan says to take all of this medication away.
And then you'll get sued when you become a big artist.
Truly,
and there you go. It's crazy.
Right.
So disclaimer, do not try this at home. Dylan's not saying stop your meds.
Yes. I'm not a physician.
Yeah, don't do it without a doctor's approval.
But talking about art, there is such thing as art therapy. Recreational therapists use art therapy to help people, as well as occupational therapists, which is what I am. When you work within the mental institutions like the VA hospital and things like that, art is used as a vehicle to help calm the person down, to bring, like, let's say if you're angry or hearing voices, if you take art and you actually draw out a situation that you're hearing or feeling, it's almost like it's being put out there so you don't internalize it.
Right.
I believe.
Sometimes we may have a difficult time trying to verbalize something that we don't completely understand, and art could be that outlet where it doesn't have to be in words. It could be in images. And some of us do relate with the world more in a visual sense versus a literary sense with words and speaking. So I think that may help more individuals who are more with that visual sense, that they may not be able to verbalize what's going on inside, but once they get that out, that it could be helpful.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said earlier, once you see it, it's like, wow, I just did that?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's amazing because we've been taught from a very young age the word. In the beginning, the word, and everything's letters and whatever, and that's very unnatural to the human species. We're visual. We see things visually. We use our senses. The word was created to slow us down. I believe, anyway. And to me, the whole feeling, you can look into somebody's eyes and not say a word, and if you allow that inner energy to connect with somebody else's inner energy, that's an amazing feeling you get. And visualizations of auras and just feeling versus words is what is freeing and healing.
So look at me.
I don't know, I guess.
What am I thinking?
I'm going to bop you across the head and stop talking boo-boo. Is that what you're thinking? Something near that nature.
Yeah, how'd you know?
I read minds very well. Well, let's go back to your artwork. Where can viewers get a hold of your work?
My artwork is available on, mostly if you go to my Facebook site, facebook.com /CopperFox Artwork. I have my images there, and then in the comment section or the little note on the image itself, I have a link that goes to my Zazzle store, where you can click on the link and order prints. And in the town I live in, I have a few of my art pieces in a few stores here.
Excellent.
The detail is amazing.
I've seen some of your pictures on Facebook, which I saw you kind of like covered the genitalia area, which it's censorship, which is crazy. Some really.
I've been suspended from Facebook too many times.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's crazy. Come on, people. We were born
Great,
naked.
I gotta start a new page now. Darn it.
We were born naked, and it's natural. And I don't know what society is so bent out of shape about nudity. I mean, I wish we all didn't have to wear clothes and just walk around bare naked. That'd be...
Yeah, exactly. So us transsexuals gave them something for their minds to ponder.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about something. What words of wisdom do you have for individuals in the trans community or outside of the trans community, maybe any member of the LGBT, allies, straight, whatever, that have dealt with mental illness, whether it's schizophrenia, bipolarism, whatever label they've been given? And I feel you're qualified because here you are. You went through all this, and you're shining. You're leading your life the way you want. You've taken the bull by the horn, and you have not allowed a label or a disease to dominate your life. So my hat tips off to you. What kind of advice would you like to give people?
I would say that never lose hope, because things will get better. Not every day is going to be a struggle. The fact is that there are going to be struggles and challenges in your life and everyone's lives, but never lose focus of what your goals are in life, and don't let a label or a name that someone has named you, or a disease or a condition that you have, never let that be a limitation to you or to your goals in life. Always strive to attain them.
And that's awesome
That's
advice.
great advice.
And like I said, reading your bio, seeing your work, I feel energy, and I feel this amazing energy from you, and you're going to do great things in the world, and, we wish you lots of luck. I mean, I only wish that people would realize the strength that they actually have inside of them and what they can actually do. And you've proven that, and that's awesome.
Exactly. So, Dylan, you already kind of answered this one, too. Any plans in the future to make your music known, such as recording an album?
Yes, definitely. Yes, and I am working on that. I am learning new techniques, such as, not in the video that you're showing now, but some echo guitar. And I really... I'll have to say, I like the band name U2, and I look up to Bono and The Edge, and there's some other musicians as well. Excuse me. But I will say that my music that I'll be making will be highly influenced with the sound of U2. And I really truly believe that I will have albums, maybe not in a store, or I won't be on stage, but I will have several CDs with my music on and in circulation, whether it just be with friends, family. And also my artwork will be out there in possibly mainstream.
That's right.
And you know what? You can do your own artwork on your own CD covers.
There you go. That's right. and I was going to say, never cut yourself short. You say you don't think you'll ever perform. If it's something that your heart really desires, never say never. Because I believe that if you could think it, it could be possible. And if you want it with all your heart, nothing's impossible. And you've proven a lot of that already.
Absolutely,
So.
And I can attest to that too about our first performance we did at the art show.
Yeah, gender art show. Yes, I've been playing.
I flopped, but I got up there.
You did good. It's our first time performing. We put together a group called Transcend. I've been playing since I was 10 years old, and I've been writing music since I was 10 years old. And now together we're created a group called Transcend, a 2-person group.
Yes. And you play drums?
Yeah, there you go. If you ever want to come down to Florida and be part of Transcend, then hey, here we are.
Right.
But never say never, and always follow your dreams. And that's something that most people don't realize, that the mind is very powerful, and you can move mountains. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, Dylan, anything else you wanted to add? Anything else you wanted to say?
Not at this time.
Not at this time. I know you were a bit nervous, but you did great. I'm so very glad. The show is going to be an inspiration to many. I know that there are a lot of individuals in the trans community, because of the chemical imbalance that we have experienced from the hormonal imbalance, who has a lot of different types of mental issues, besides also biological issues. And I think the show is going to be very inspirational for them to realize that they too can conquer it if they put their hearts to it.
Exactly.
So we applaud you and the great work that you're doing, and good luck in the future, and don't be a stranger.
Yes, definitely.
Keep in touch.
Thank you, Dylan.
Thank
and
you.
I'll keep doing that artwork. You're
Yes,
awesome.
definitely.
Amazingly awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We salute you.
Good
Take
night.
care. Love you.
Night.
Well, we will be right back within the Trans News.
In the transition video of the week, next on Transition Radio TV.
Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to In the Trans News.
Well, tonight's trans news is a story that has been unfairly spun on a well-known platform, theadvocate.com. But we wanted to share this video of the amazing trans man who has done so much for our community, yet is being persecuted by our very own community. And I'm very upset about this because he's a dear friend of mine, and he has been receiving way too much hate for way too long, and now this just kind of put the icing on the cake. His name is Buck Angel, and we want to share some of it. It's a little new trailer of Mr. Angel is the name, and to show you guys an amazing guy that he is. And then we'll read the smudgy little advocate article written by a trans woman. Well, all right, let's show the video.
Let's show the video.
Let's go. 8, 7, looking great. Come on. I'm gonna get water if you need to.
Oh yeah, I love my pervert tattoo.
Woo.
A lot of people read it different. They don't read it as pervert, they read it as perfect, which is sort of embarrassing.
8, squeeze up. 7. Not one to hold that free. Let's go.
Being in touch with your sexuality is what a pervert is to me.
I think that the fact that they actually put a full nude photo of me is awesome because it just is in your face. Because with pants on, I just look like a dude.
Actually, how did you start into this sort of porn business?
It just came like a light bulb, boom, dude, nobody is making transsexual male porn. I really believe I was chosen to do this.
And God spoke to you through a burning something or other.
It's totally insane.
Hey, I'm Buck Angel.
I think it looks good open. It looks you, because you usually have some skin showing.
Yeah, I do.
Honey, it's the porn awards.
I saw my picture. I almost started to cry, and I was I was screaming for myself. I feel like a star.
You are a star.
16-year-old girls are hanging out with other girls and whatever they do. I don't even know what 16-year-old girls do because I wasn't doing it.
He can be a target of hate and of anti-sex, anti-porn, anti-trans propaganda.
I know this is a really touchy issue.
But he continues to just keep going. It's like there's no stopping him.
I like my vagina.
Wait, you like your vagina?
I love my vagina. Yes. Do you love your vagina?
No. Hi.
It hasn't been easy for people to take me serious as someone who has something important to say because of being a porn star, but it's okay.
I'm going to break through. I will. I promise you I'll break through.
I sit here crying because I know Buck for many years and don't know him personally in person, but we've talked on the phone and I've seen his struggle. And I hate the fact that he's so misunderstood, and it hits home somehow, it's crazy. And seeing all this hatred that has gone in the past few days, and these so-called people in the community that try to twist words, that try to be so hateful and judgmental, seeing it from both sides, not only from the MTF, but also from the FTM, who have issues with their vagina. Well, thanks to Buck, I was okay. I am okay with my vagina, and he's done so much for all of us, and for people to be so hateful. And I'm going to go ahead and read this article, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it. The article was written from The Advocate. Buck Angel shuts down transgender surgery fundraising site. The founder of a website designed in part to fund gender confirmation surgeries have shut down operations after allegations that their organization resembled a pyramid scheme. Last week, Buck Angel and Jody Rose, both transgender men, launched Transgasm, a platform where transgender men and women interested in receiving surgical care would have the opportunity to list themselves on a surgery list 7 at a time.
Funding for those on the surgery list would be generated from the sale of user-generated content on Transgasm's online store. The users who create a piece of content would be entitled to 50% of the profits brought in, while 25% would go to the users on the surgery list, and the final 25% would go back into Transgasm. Upon the website's launch, a number of bloggers pointed out that the concept of paying it forward through 25% of sales going toward those on a waiting list was very similar in nature to that of a pyramid scheme, which is illegal in the United States. And I just want to add, the fact is that I saw a lot of controversy also that these MTFs that were causing a lot of the...
Oh, let's talk about that. Let's finish reading the article.
Fine.
The Federal Bureau of Investigation describes pyramid schemes as an operation that pays earlier victims of fraud with money collected from newer victims of fraud. Earlier this week, in the wake of the accusation of purposely setting up a pyramid scheme that would prey on the most, and I love the words, prey on the most vulnerable transgender people in society, Angel and Rose backed out of the Transgasm project. They posted a note to their website accusing the critics of Transgasm of spreading false lies and engaging in oppression Olympic-style rhetoric.
The author of this article, on The Advocate, Parker Marie Molly, alleges many things in this piece, bringing in dirty laundry and quotes that Buck had said in the past. A witch hunt, if you ask us. This is why our community will never get anywhere. It amazes me that a columnist for The Advocate would bash those that they are supposed to be advocating for and should be ashamed of themselves, as well as Parker Molly, Marie Molly, whoever
the jealousy and hatred that is stirred and given to those of us who are trying to help out our community is just repulsive and childish, if you ask me. We want to express something,
Well, I was going to say something
go ahead.
earlier, but now that I forgot because we got interrupted, it was actually staged towards that section where it was a platform. There was a lot of MTFs that were stating that, 25%, what is that going to do for a $35,000 surgery? It's ungratefulness from the community, and I think that is where this all stems from because, it's like, everybody wants the whatever, and Yeah, whatever.
Well, the thing is, people don't realize, we all have bills. We have to pay the roof over our heads. What is it that you would have liked for Buck to donate the proceeds of his film for your surgery? He created an idea, him and Jody created an idea to generate money to help with the surgery. Right away, people are calling it a pyramid. They're calling it a scam. I personally know Jody and I personally know Buck, and they're not scammers. They're very good-hearted, spiritual individuals that many of you would even remotely want to have a little finger of that kind of character in you. For you to be so jealous and so envious and so hateful to create this whole big propaganda and gossip, to have them bring this down, not because of any fear, because they didn't do it out of fear. Buck doesn't fear anyone, neither does Jody. They did it because they didn't want to be associated with the negativity of the trans community. That is why we as trans individuals do not get any respect, and they think of us as a bunch of Looney Tunes. Why? Because everything that could actually be good, we turn it to something evil and bad. Well, you need to look within your hearts and find out what the heck is wrong with you people. We sat there yesterday all day battling with a bunch of these crazy ass, and, not everybody in the trans community is that way. But there is a group of you out there that really need to go to your gender specialist a little bit longer.
Well, speaking of, the actual author of this article, Parker Marie Molly, as you can see the picture there, the stunning look on her face. She claims to be a trans advocate. She's an inexperienced trans girl that has been on hormones and transitioning for a year. And here she goes and tries to step up against two guys that have been transitioned fully for years upon years. So this is like the egg going after the dinosaur type of thing.
Right.
And I find it kind of repulsive. And for the advocate, which is supposed to be such a situation that allows
a
platform that is supposed to advocate for transgender LGBT people. And here they are allowing a trans girl to bash the trans community. This individual just started a war between FTMs and MTFs.
And let's look further. It's not just about, let's say they question the integrity of this so-called business. They went in pulling dirty laundry on Buck that he had said something regarding disclosure that, trans women need to be more careful and they need to disclose their trans status, which we also agree on.
And there was, exactly, as far as disclosure is very important, especially if you're intending on getting intimate with somebody. Yes. You know what? If you get your ass beat, it's your damn fault.
Right.
And I said it.
Yes.
And I'm a trans woman. So, you know what? If you get your ass beat, just remember, you should have told somebody that, hey.
And it doesn't mean, there's situations where you don't do anything and you get hurt and killed and, hey, violence is never condoned. No. But all that Buck was saying and all that we are saying, that you need to be truthful. You need to stop living in this la-la land. I'm a woman or I'm a man or we're transgender, and the person that we're going to have sex with and the person that we're going to be intimate with
or that has an intimate interest.
Has the right to know. How about if you had HIV and you went to bed with somebody and you decided you weren't going to tell that person? They have the right to know.
You just risk their life.
Yeah, exactly. So you all twist words, and you know who you all were that yesterday in the group, trying to twist the words and trying to call me and Jess all sorts of things.
Yes. But now let's focus on the credibility of the author of the article.
Yes. Well, in that whole discussion, one of the actual so-called friends of Parker, Laurelli Bailey, associate called Laurelli Bailey,
was involved in an FBI investigation for apparently
being involved with hackers.
With a huge hacker group called Lulz Security.
Yes.
Also known as Lulz Sec.
And these are the kind of people that Parker associates with. And Parker right now is actually pretty frightened because Buck, rightfully so, it's pretty much known, is
advised his lawyers on the situation.
Go back to that screenshot, Joe, where Laurelli Bailey threatens Buck. The one that I sent you. There we go. And I sat there, when I saw this threat. Oh, and Buck, if you mess with Parker, I will throw the full weight of my social media platform at you to make your life very, very hard. I read that and I just, I got totally fired up.
I dove into.
And just, and Joe, I want to finish reading what I said. Really, Laura Lee, threatening Buck. In fact, we're going to cover this on our TV show tomorrow night and report the allegations being placed on Buck by Parker and the Advocate. Shameful, if you ask me. I can't even read it now.
Yeah, it's a little blurry. But I think everybody
can probably read that, yeah. But, and then she threatened us, and everybody and all her Clooney's threatened us and called us all sorts of things. Oh, yeah, go back to that one, Joe, besides her picture. This individual has a Twitter account, and if you read... Twitter account. Trans sex worker, sarcastic trans activist, angry trans women, she very much...
Now, the hashtags is what I find.
Yeah, the hashtag is, what is it? Go ahead, you read that, baby.
The hashtag is girls like us. Okay, that's no problem. But the one that really gets me is that the Advocate columnist, Parker, would associate with somebody that says, fuck cis people.
Yeah.
That kind of
creates an animosity, and I wonder why they get beat up or assaulted. I mean, I've never been assaulted. Jessica's never been assaulted. If you're a nice individual, and I know we're going to get, this is going to go all over the place.
Yeah,
not everyone creates an animosity beat. A lot of, and I've had discussions on forum where I've just had to leave the forum because a lot of these trans women are brutal. It's like, really? You're a woman now, right? You're still... I don't even want to go in it because I don't
need to go into
it. But anyway, needless to say,
like I said in my quote, God must love stupid people because he made so many of them.
Yes, and Buck, we love you, buddy. We've got your back.
Jody, we love you too.
Jody, we love you too. And Jody wasn't attacked as much. Buck has been like the target. I mean, you have blog after blog calling him a scam artist, and he does not deserve that because he has a heart of gold, and he's a wonderful brother.
Attacking his gender identity.
I know,
and all this
it's
other
crazy.
Stuff,
we love you, brother. And people could say shit about me, and it hasn't really affected me. But when I read all this about you, it affected me big time. So we love you.
As did me.
So now that we went on our little rampage there,
yes,
you got to pee, but we still have to go through the transition video. All right, go ahead and read our little...
for the transition video of the week.
Okay.
Listen to your heart. With every beat, it has a message that it is screaming out. If you don't listen, it will break. It will dwindle and shatter into pieces.
We must be who we are. We must be able to express our needs. Do not be ashamed or allow others to dictate your beat. And now, the transition video of the week with Cal Brown 087.
Hey guys, so today I put together a YouTube video, and it just has photos that cover the past 4 years, so it'll give you an idea of my transition pre-C. So yeah, enjoy.
Yes,
send us
it
your
was.
transformation video.
Transformation videos. Transition videos.
Yes, to transitionradioshow@gmail.com. Again, that's transitionradioshow@gmail.com.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yes, thank you.
Apologize for
Thank you,
my
Dylan.
passion, but I don't like seeing people hurt. I really don't. And Buck is a strong individual, but all this hate does wear down on you. And he's received a lot of that through the years, especially from FTM. Now he's getting it from the MTFs. All because of disclosure.
In our own community, because he says something about
disclosure, and because he originally had mentioned something regarding that, trying to teach trans guys to be okay with what we got. Because these trans surgeries for us, they're not pretty. Okay? They're not pretty at all.
No, we should have actually shown a video.
I don't know.
Can we show a video like that, Joe? They're pretty graphic.
Pretty graphic, no. But, the bottom line is, okay, so he said things in the past, but now he's trying to do something to help those individuals that do want to go through their surgery. Because everyone is entitled to do with their bodies what they want. But all Buck has been saying all along is, be happy with what you got. This is who you are. Okay, you want to take hormones, you want to have the top surgery, hysterectomy, all that great stuff, but don't feel that you're less of a man if you don't have the bottom surgery. And that's all he's been saying, but his words have always been misconstrued, mixed up, and whatever, because people love twisted, and people love to do stuff like that. And it's crazy. He does not deserve that at all. The man is an amazing individual, and like I said, I have lots of love and respect for him and his wife.
Because he was a big inspiration to me before my transition. So.
And it eats me up. It eats me up totally. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and say goodbye. We're going to share with you Nye performing with an original called She Gently Weeps. I look like I'm in my pajamas, and she looks all hot and stuff.
Anyway, I look all hot, my ass.
Yeah, well, you always look hot. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Joe.
Everybody.
Thank you, Dylan.
Thank you, Dylan.
Love you, Buck. We've got your back. Thank you, everyone. We love you.
But remember to always love yourselves, too.
Good night.
Good night.
Take a look outside your window. What do you see? The children, they are starving, filled with disease. You may safely sleep out, tucked in your bed. Of the world's dying, you sleep instead. What's going on? What have we done? What's going on? What have we done? Put your weapons down, stop climbing around. This is your world, and she's slowly dying. She gently weeps, she's slowly dying. While you all sleep, mess around. Turn down the ego, start fighting now. Let's face off in the speakers, show them the way. No one will be coming, not today. Now I tell you something, I wanna thank you, thank you, thank you for being you. You have ignored this, oh yeah. No, this is true. Get up from your ass, do something that lasts to make a change, 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 change. Put your weapons down, stop clowning around. This is your world, and she's slowly dying. She gently weeps. She's slowly dying. While you all sleep. This is your world. It's your world. She gently weeps while we all sleep. This is your world. We are on our own.